Emma wheeled herself to the corner table of Riverside Café, her hands slightly trembling. Not from her condition, she'd been paralyzed from the waist down for 3 years now, but from anticipation. This was her first date since the accident. After months of messaging with Michael, she'd finally gathered the courage to meet him in person. She'd been upfront about her wheelchair in her dating profile, but people's reactions in person were always unpredictable. She checked her watch. 10 minutes early. Emma smoothed her dress and positioned her wheelchair at an angle that wouldn't block the walkway. The cafe buzzed with afternoon energy, couples sharing desserts, businesspeople typing furiously on laptops, and baristas calling out elaborate coffee orders. Emma had chosen this place carefully for its accessibility and warm atmosphere. Her phone buzzed. A message from Michael: "I'm parking now. See you in 5. Emma's heart raced. She ordered 2 coffees, one for herself and one for her date. The barista, a kind-faced woman named Tara who knew Emma from her regular visits, gave her an encouraging smile. "First date?" Tara asked, placing the coffees on Emma's tray attachment. "That obvious, huh?" Emma laughed nervously. "You look beautiful," Tara assured her. "He's lucky." Emma wheeled back to her table, carefully balancing the coffees. She positioned herself so she could see the entrance, watching each person who walked in. A tall man with dark hair entered, glancing around. Emma's heart skipped. That must be Michael. She raised her hand slightly, catching his eye. His smile faltered for just a second when he saw the wheelchair. It was brief, but Emma caught it. She'd become an expert at reading those micro-expressions. Still, he approached, his smile returning. "Emma?" "Hi, I'm Michael." "Nice to finally meet you," she said, gesturing to the chair across from her. "I got you coffee. Hope that's okay." "Thanks," he said, sitting down. "You look different from your photos." Emma felt her stomach tighten. "The photos are recent. I mentioned I use a wheelchair in my profile." Right, Michael said quickly. "I guess I just didn't really picture it." The conversation stumbled forward awkwardly. Michael asked about her job as a graphic designer but seemed distracted. His eyes kept darting around the cafe, and he checked his phone repeatedly. Emma tried to keep the conversation flowing, asking about his work in finance, but his answers grew increasingly short. 20 minutes in, Michael's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and stood up abruptly. "I'm so sorry, but there's an emergency at work. I have to go." Emma knew it was a lie. She'd heard every excuse in the book. "Oh. Well, maybe another time?" "Yeah, definitely. I'll text you." Michael was already backing away, not meeting her eyes. "Thanks for the coffee." And then he was gone, leaving his barely touched drink behind. Emma sat there, the familiar sting of rejection washing over her. She'd been through this before, people who couldn't see past her wheelchair, who couldn't handle the reality of dating someone with a disability. She blinked back tears, determined not to cry in public. Tara approached with a sympathetic look. "Refill?" "No thanks," Emma said, forcing a smile. "I think I'll just finish up and head out." "His loss," Tara said firmly before returning to the counter. Emma sat alone, scrolling through her phone to look occupied, fighting the urge to leave immediately. She didn't want to appear defeated. 10 minutes, she told herself. She'd finish her coffee, then go home and allow herself to feel disappointed in private. That's when she noticed a little girl, no more than 6 years old, standing beside her table, staring at her wheelchair with unabashed curiosity. "Does it go fast?" the little girl asked, her eyes wide. Emma couldn't help but smile. Children were always refreshingly direct. "Not as fast as a race car, but pretty quick when I need it to be." "Lily." A deep voice called out. A tall man in a well-tailored suit approached, looking apologetic. I'm so sorry. My daughter has a habit of wandering off. It's okay, Emma assured him. She was just asking about my wheelchair. The man knelt down to his daughter's level. Lily, remember what we talked about? It's not polite to approach strangers without permission. But Daddy, her chair has wheels like my scooter. Lily protested. The man looked up at Emma with an apologetic smile that reached his kind brown eyes. I'm James, and this is my very curious daughter, Lily. Emma, she replied, extending her hand. And really, it's fine. I'd rather honest questions than uncomfortable stares. James stood up, still holding Lily's hand. Well, we should let you get back to your... He glanced at the empty chair and untouched coffee across from her. My date that didn't work out, Emma finished for him, surprising herself with her candor. James frowned. I'm sorry to hear that. It happens, Emma shrugged, trying to sound casual. Can we sit with you? Lily asked suddenly. Daddy says it's sad to eat alone. Lily, James admonished gently, but Emma laughed. Actually, I'd love the company, if you don't mind. James hesitated, then nodded. If you're sure we're not intruding. Not at all. Please. James helped Lily into a chair and sat down himself. So, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with your date? The usual, Emma said. He saw the wheelchair and suddenly had an emergency at work. James shook his head. That's terrible. I'm sorry. People get scared of what they don't understand, Emma said. I've gotten used to it. You shouldn't have to, James replied, his voice firm. Their conversation flowed easily after that. James ordered hot chocolate for Lily and coffee for himself. Emma learned that he was the CEO of a tech company that developed accessibility software. Lily, it turned out, was quite the chatterbox, regaling Emma with stories about her school and her pet turtle named Pickle. My wife passed away 2 years ago, James shared when Lily was distracted by a cookie. Cancer. It's been just the two of us since then. I'm sorry, Emma said softly. That must be incredibly difficult. Every day has its challenges, James admitted. But Lily gives me a reason to keep moving forward. Emma nodded. I understand that. My accident was 3 years ago, drunk driver. I had to relearn how to live, essentially. There were days I didn't think I could do it. But you did, James said, his eyes warm with admiration. I did, Emma agreed. Started my own graphic design business from home when my previous employer wasn't accommodating. Now I have clients all over the country. That's impressive, James said. Actually, my company might be interested in your services. We're revamping our brand identity. Emma raised an eyebrow. Are you offering me a pity job? James laughed. Absolutely not. I've seen how you interact with Lily, you're patient, articulate, and clearly creative. Those are qualities I value in the people I work with. Their conversation continued as the afternoon stretched on. Emma found herself laughing more than she had in months. Lily insisted on showing Emma her drawings, and James spoke passionately about making technology more accessible for everyone. When it was finally time to leave, James hesitated. Would it be too forward to ask for your number? For professional reasons, of course, he added with a smile that suggested otherwise. Emma felt a warmth spread through her chest. I think that would be acceptable. For professional reasons. As they exchanged information, Lily tugged on Emma's sleeve. Can you come to my birthday party next month? I'm turning 7, and Daddy's making a castle cake. Emma glanced at James, who nodded encouragingly. I'd love to, Lily. Thank you for inviting me. Outside the cafe, as they prepared to part ways, James helped Emma navigate a tricky section of sidewalk. I've enjoyed meeting you, Emma. Both of us have, he said, glancing at Lily who was skipping ahead. "Same here," Emma replied. "This afternoon turned out much better than I expected." "Sometimes the best things happen when our plans fall apart," James said. Emma smiled. "I'm beginning to see that." 6 months later, Emma found herself back at Riverside Café, sitting at the same corner table. This time, however, she wasn't alone or anxious. James sat across from her, and Lily was beside them, happily drawing with colored pencils. "I can't believe it's been 6 months since we met right here," James said, reaching across to take Emma's hand. "Best failed date of my life," Emma laughed. "Can I tell the story at your wedding?" Tara called from behind the counter, winking at them. Emma blushed as James squeezed her hand. Their relationship had developed naturally, first with professional collaboration, then friendship, and finally something deeper. James had never once made Emma feel that her disability defined her, and Lily had embraced Emma with the pure acceptance that only children can offer. "You know," James said thoughtfully, "I've been thinking about expanding our accessibility software to include more features for graphic designers with various disabilities. Your insight would be invaluable. Are you offering me another job?" Emma teased. "More like a partnership," James replied, his eyes serious. "In business and, perhaps in life." Emma's heart raced. "James. I'm not proposing, not yet," he clarified quickly. "But I want you to know that's where I see this going. If you're open to it." "I am," Emma said softly. "Very open to it." Lily looked up from her drawing. "Does this mean Emma will be my new mommy someday?" James chuckled nervously. "Lily, remember our talk about timing?" "But you said you love her," Lily insisted. "He did he?" Emma raised an eyebrow at James, who was now blushing. "I was planning a more romantic moment for that particular revelation," James admitted. Emma laughed. "I think this moment is perfect." 1 year to the day after they met, Emma and James returned to Riverside Café. This time for their engagement party. The café had closed early for the private event, filled with friends, family, and colleagues celebrating their love story. Emma had continued to build her design business while collaborating with James's company on accessibility projects. Together, they'd launched a foundation to support people with disabilities in pursuing entrepreneurship. As Emma looked around at the gathering, she caught sight of Tara, who had become a good friend, raising her glass in a toast. "To Emma and James," Tara announced. "Proof that sometimes the worst moments can lead to the best beginnings." Emma felt James's hand on her shoulder as he leaned down to kiss her cheek. "Thank you for being left alone that day," he whispered. "And thank you for having a curious daughter who doesn't understand boundaries," Emma whispered back, making him laugh. Later that evening, as the party wound down, Emma found herself alone for a moment, looking out the café window. She thought about how drastically her life had changed in just 1 year, from the heartbreak of rejection to finding a love that accepted her completely. Her phone buzzed with a notification. It was a message from her dating app, the one she'd forgotten to delete. Ironically, it was from Michael, her date from that fateful day. "Hey Emma, I know it's been a while, but I've been thinking about you. I'm sorry about how things ended. Would you be open to giving me another chance?" Emma smiled to herself as she deleted the app entirely. Some failures were actually redirections to something far better than what we originally wanted. James approached with Lily half asleep in his arms. "Ready to go home?" Home. The word filled Emma with warmth. Not just a place, but these people who had become her family. "More than ready," she replied, wheeling alongside them as they left the café together. If you were moved by Emma and James's story, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us how unexpected encounters can change our lives forever. Every week, we share stories that show the beauty of human connection and resilience. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful messages of hope with the world. What unexpected encounter changed your life? Share your story in the comments below.